Hi everyone, I'm Angie. Welcome to part 2 of the summerween vlog. I was actually editing the first vlog and then the power went out. You probably can't tell, but we have no power right now. I can't even turn on my cute little candle because it'll get too warm in here since obviously the AC is not working. Adam is freaking out.
I'm freaking.
He claims he's not freaking out. I'm probably 2 seconds away from freaking out, to be fair though. I hate it when the power goes out and I feel like it's out all the time. I don't know why it's out. It's definitely some sort of issue. But anyway, power aside, let's get this vlog started. If you haven't seen the last summerween vlog, you don't necessarily have to go see it, but you might be a little confused if you don't go see it. But nonetheless, here is a quick little review. Summerween is a week-long readathon hosted by Gabby Reads here on YouTube. The aim of summerween is to read like horror books and thriller books and I guess mystery books too. There are 5 prompts. I've completed 4 of the 5 already, but we'll probably end up moving some books around so that I'll still complete all the prompts, but I'll have read more books. There's also a bingo board. On the screen will be the ones that I have completed so far. And then here are the books that I've chosen for my TBR, and these are the 2 that I have finished so far. We have 3 days left of summerween. I thought that we had 4, but then I thought that it ended on Sunday. It ends on Saturday. So we only have 3 days to finish this whole thing. I am not even trying to read every single book on my TBR. That was never going to be my goal, but we are definitely going to finish a couple of books in this vlog. At least 1. I mean, 2 would be amazing, but we'll see what happens. The only prompt that I haven't completed is to read a book that you've owned for more than a year, and this is the book that I will be reading next, which is 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina, Bazterrica. This is a collection of short stories, and I've owned this for more than a year. I have not read a single word of this, so that is what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to read as much as I can. I mean, if the power is out, maybe I'll finish the whole thing. If I don't start freaking out about it being too hot and about how we can't do anything, and you know how it goes, It's really not that big of a deal. The power will come back on. Sometimes when I'm getting frustrated at things like this, all I can think is I'm so spoiled because it does not matter. Anyway, this is what I will be reading today. I was also planning on baking a fall treat today because that is on the bingo board. I got all of the ingredients. To be fair, I didn't need much stuff, but I got everything and now the power is out. So much for that, honestly. It is kind of it's really thrown a wrench in my plans, that's for sure. Maybe it was meant to be. Maybe this is the world saying that I should focus on reading and not on the other fun stuff. But that stuff is a lot of fun, so I don't know. But yeah, this intro is going to be a lot shorter than it was in the first video because we've already been here. You guys know all the prompts, you guys know all the books. We're just here to continue the week. So I'm going to do some reading. Let's hope that the power comes on relatively soon. I also just found out that the gate to the apartment complex is broken, so we're also trapped here. It's the world telling me I need to read, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Are you freaking out?
No.
Someone's swimming?
I guess so.
They're like, why the fuck not? If you can't tell by my appearance, today has seriously been a day. Today has been interesting. I've read 2 of these stories, which might sound impressive, but I'm only on page 13. So I haven't been doing much in terms of reading. You guys saw earlier the power was out. The power actually came back on pretty soon after that, so I kind of feel a little silly about how much I was talking about it in that clip because, I mean, it was hardly out at all. Adam said he would have freaked out if it was any longer, so it's probably good that it came back on. But the power going out is not where this day has ended, okay? I had to go check on my friend's cats because she's out of town and she asked me to check on her cat. So I go, Adam is like sleeping when I leave. He's taking a little nap. I go, cats are amazing. Come back. Adam is just standing at the end of the hallway like this with a face that's like, I'm like, okay, what happened? He seriously cut his finger. He cut his finger very badly because he was cooking, because he has to like cook something for work. He has to do that sometimes, which is kind of annoying in my opinion. Like, why are you having to spend money and cook for your job? That's just me. I have one of those mandolin slicers. You can get it on like TikTok shop. It's like a crank one. It's great. It's fantastic. But Adam was like doing something. He like stuck his hand in there. And of course he cut his finger off. No, he didn't cut his finger off. He cut a part of his finger, like a little it was bleeding very badly and it looks like it hurts a lot. And then after that, he still had to cook this thing. So I basically cooked it for him as he just told me what to do. He ended up doing some stuff too. Oh, we also tried to watch a movie, The Ritual. It has like Al Pacino. It's brand new. Not very good. We didn't even finish it. I had a lot of issues with it almost immediately right off the bat. I also almost choked on my yerba mate earlier. It's been a weird day, okay? So I'm not surprised that I haven't gotten any reading done. I have been thinking though, of the 2 stories that I've read, I wasn't really that impressed by either one of them. And obviously I need to keep going to like really form an opinion on it, but I was definitely not wowed by those first 2. And you think that you would put like your strongest ones at the beginning. So we'll have to see. This is not done, but I'm just saying I don't know how much I'm going to love it, but I definitely don't feel like reading it a bunch right now. So I was thinking, let's switch it up and read something else. Let's read something on my e-reader that is not over here actually. I'll have to find it, but we can read something on my e-reader. I have The Only Good Indians, which I put on my TBR for this week, and I also really, really want to read another Meg Smitherman book. I want to read Entity, which is her newest book. I might do that because it's a novella. I'm like 99% sure it's a novella. I think there's gonna be a little bit of romance, whether or not it is like truly a romance and there's a happy ending or not. I just think I need some romance because I don't think I stressed enough in the last vlog about how like horror thrillers, not my typical genre. Romance is definitely my typical genre. You can tell from my shelves, I'm sure. So, you know, maybe reading a little bit of romance, even if it doesn't technically fit the definition of romance, but there's like some sort of romance going on. It'll get me like maybe a little bit more on track. I'm feeling very like feeling strange. Thought maybe I could switch things up. Today's kind of been a little bit of a flop, but I think tomorrow will be a pretty good day. Tomorrow's going to be the day that we bake. I was originally planning on baking today, then Adam was cooking, and Adam's gonna be gone all day tomorrow, so I'll have plenty of time to bake some cookies without, you know, anyone else needing the kitchen. I feel like I've been talking like a mile a minute, and I didn't even have any book updates for you guys. I'm so sorry. Let me go find my e-reader. I'm gonna read some of Entity. I still have to be up for a little bit longer because Adam's dish is still in the oven. So I have some time to get some kind of reading in. Hello, welcome back. As you can imagine, yesterday was a lot. It was not the best day. I was just really feeling out of it. Everything happened with Adam's finger. It was just a very strange day. I didn't even mention, but before I ever talked to you guys, we like went out to eat. I haven't been doing a lot of eating out, and it completely knocked me out. I felt so sleepy from that food already. So the day was just like not going the best, but that's okay because I think today is going much better. I finally finished editing the vlog for the first half of Summerween, and I just feel a little bit more you know? So yeah, I really didn't get much of any reading done yesterday. I like started Entity and I just was so sleepy, and I was like, you know what, today, like yesterday was just not the day for reading, and that is okay because I think today is going to be more of a reading day. It's going to be a really fun day. As you can see behind me, we have some fun things. We are finally baking our fall treat. I'm going with these like brown butter, pumpkin, oatmeal, chocolate chip cookies or something like that. I don't know. I found them in the last video and I decided just to go with them. And I'm actually going to do the whole recipe. Originally, I was planning on having it, but Adam can like take them to work if they're good or something and someone else can eat them. Hopefully they are good. I have what I think is everything over here to bake. And of course, while I'm baking, I'm going to listen to an audiobook. And so you're probably thinking, Angelica, you said in the last video that you have an audiobook for The Death of Mrs. Westaway and So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. You're probably gonna listen to one of those, right? No. I am currently listening to, I've been listening to it for maybe an hour or so, A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, my first ever book by T. Kingfisher. I was going to listen to So Thirsty, but the audiobook was terrible. Not the narration, but it was like very staticky. Like I couldn't focus on it because all I thought there was like something wrong with my hearing. Like it was not a good experience listening to what I did listen to. I hardly tried, honestly. I got a minute in and I was like, I can't handle this. So maybe it got better, but I will never know. So now I think if I do ever pick that book up, I might not do the audiobook. I don't know if it's just like the copy that the library has. I'm not really sure how that works, honestly. But yeah, I'm listening to A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I also got it from the library. I just went to see what was available now. Never read anything by T. Kingfisher. I've heard good things, I think. I don't know much about this book, but I just went with it because I was like, well, I've heard of it. why don't we try it, you know? So far what's happened in A House with Good Bones is our protagonist, I believe her name is Sam. She is going home to her mom's house because she's like a bug archaeologist or something. She studies bugs. She was on an archaeological site, but there were human remains found. So that means that the dig is canceled. So she is back home because she doesn't like have a place to live or a job. That is all fine. Her mom is happy to have her there. But when Sam is there, she notices that things are kind of strange. Her mom lives in the house that used to belong to Sam's grandmother, so her mom's mother. And when her grandmother passed away, Sam's mom changed everything to, you know, suit her. And when Sam is now back here, she's noticing that things are kind of reverting to how they were prior to her grandmother's death. So all of the walls are painted. There's like old pictures up on the wall that Sam's mom apparently hates. Her mom is just like acting kind of strange. This house is also in the middle of nowhere, by the way. And like a very strange thing is that there's like this vulture that keeps hanging out on the mailbox, which is a sign if I've ever heard of one. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm hoping for some kind of discussion on like, not necessarily motherhood, but I guess the relationship between a mother and her daughter. Hey, Serena loves to get into the cabinets in here. It's like a real issue. We have to put stuff in front. Stop. Okay, sorry. I had to like make sure that something was in front of the cabinet because she will go in there and she does not need to be in there. She was being a terror last night, but we can talk about that later. Okay, I basically never ended up talking about it, but basically Serena won't stop getting up on my shelves and it is driving me up a wall, that's for sure. Anyway, that is basically all that's happened in A House with Good Bones so far. Not much, honestly. One thing that I think I'm going to like about it is that at the beginning, it's very lighthearted. It's very like, I don't know, it's goofy and funny. It's just like an average book. Like you wouldn't guess that it's going to turn into something maybe a bit spooky, something sinister. Yes, there is like, you know, the kind of weird stuff that's happening, but the main character is very like jolly. I don't know. She's a very like goofy kind of person. Some of the jokes are maybe a little bit millennial, but that's okay. I'm like on the cusp, so I can deal with it, you know? But I'll be listening to that while I'm baking cookies. I was going to try to get them done before 3 p.m., but that is not going to happen. If I'd gotten them done before 3 p.m., I could have taken them to Adam's work and they could have eaten them now, but that's okay, because what if they're not even good anyway? So, but I'm very, very excited to bake these cookies. It's been a long time since I've baked any like fun treats or anything like that. So, okay, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Let's bake some cookies. Okay, obviously this made way more than 18 cookies like it said it was. I don't know how many made. One second. Literally double. There are 36 cookies over here. I have already had 2. So there were 38 cookies. That's a lot of cookies. I'm not gonna eat all of them. Yeah, I already had a couple. I'll go ahead and eat one on camera just to show you guys, you know, just to show you that they're edible. They're fine. I think I need to accept that I don't always love pumpkin spice. You could put half a teaspoon or a whole teaspoon. I think I just put a whole teaspoon. So maybe that's also why. Maybe if I'd put a little less of the pumpkin spice, it would have been a little bit better. But I mean, they're tasty. I wonder if Adam will like them, because then, you know, that's someone else that can eat them. Definitely very fall. It's kind of weird having these like fall flavors in the summer. I'm not gonna lie. It is like a little strange. I definitely think I could have cooked them longer, but I'm someone that prefers things to be undercooked than overcooked. So I think I was a little bit scared, but yeah, I think they don't look anything like the picture, but they do look like oatmeal cookies, because that's what they are. If I were to make them again, I would do less of the pumpkin spice. I would bake them a little bit longer, and I would also do less chocolate chips, and I would just have the recipe completely, because this is a lot of cookies. It's a lot of cookies. Okay, I have to go give my cat some wet food now. He is crying for it, so I will be back. Well, isn't this a familiar view? Cookies are done, and now I've officially crossed off that square on the bingo board. Let me look to see if that means I've hit any bingos. I don't think so, right? Okay, so I've read a book in the dark, watched a scary movie, read a thriller or horror book. So if I were just to read a book with 6 words in the title, or read a book that takes place in the desert, I would have 2 bingo. Well, I don't think I would do both. So I'd have a bingo. And we all know the book that has 6 words in the title is this book, which I am still planning on getting to. I know I wasn't that into it yesterday, but maybe I can get to it later today. I think I'm really going to sit down and read this later on. I'm going to keep listening to A House with Good Bones. I think later on, this is what I will be doing. Tomorrow is the last day of summerween, which is very, very sad. I did my math wrong, guys. I should have finished the first vlog like a day earlier and then had the last part be 1 extra day. I thought that it ended on Sunday. It doesn't. It ends on Saturday. I guess I could end it on Sunday because like there's no rules, but we're gonna stick with it. Maybe, probably. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't have any plans for the day, so I would like to finish at least 1 book, whether it is A House with Good Bones or the other one, the 19 Claws and a Blackbird. I feel like I've said that title so many times this week. It's not looking like The Death of Mrs. Westaway is going to get read this week, which is unfortunate because it's the book in this TBR that I've owned the longest. I've had that book for forever. If I am trying to get a bingo and if I am trying to complete all the prompts, I gotta read this. This is actually mandatory now and soon. Because tomorrow during the day, I'm free. Adam is working. I will be here at home, but the second half of the day I'm going to a baseball game. Obviously I won't be reading there. I mean, I can bring my little e-reader with me, but even if I do end up doing that, it's not like I'll end up getting any sort of significant reading in. I just wanted to check in because we completed another bingo square and I baked the cookies. I don't really have much of an opinion on A House with Good Bones right now because not much has happened yet. Just like weird freaky stuff is happening. There has been some hints that there's like something malevolent in the house and this like neighbor knows about it. Maybe not malevolent, but like something is going on in the house and someone else knows, but not our main character. Our main character does not know what's going on. She's definitely like, whoa, what's going on with my mom? She's more thinking along the lines of like dementia and stuff like that, not like a demon. I don't know what's going on. She definitely doesn't think that it's something supernatural. She's thinking more psychological. While I'm listening to the book, I will do something or another. I probably should do laundry. It rained again today, guys. It was raining so hard earlier in the day, but it looks like maybe it has stopped. It actually looks so dry. I think what's interesting about this rain right now is that it pours and pours, and then when you go outside, it's already dry. Okay, maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll do some laundry because we've been meaning to do it and it just keeps raining and the power went out. So it's not our fault. It's the weather and the power's fault. Okay, sorry, I'm babbling and not about books. So I'll talk to you later when I do have something to say about A House with Good Bones. I just finished A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I just finished listening to the audiobook literally like 2 seconds ago. I thought I would update you guys. I need to update you guys anyway because it's the very last day of summerween, which is so sad. I am very sad that it's coming to an end, but all good things must end, I guess. I've spent most of the day doing laundry, which is unfortunate, but it has to get done. I ended up missing a whole bag of laundry, which is very annoying. I thought I was done. I wasn't done. But yeah, that's basically why I haven't updated you guys today, because I was doing that, then I took a shower, did my hair. Now I'm getting ready to go to the Astros game. I'm going with my friend. She invited me. I'm very, very excited to eat a hot dog. I want a hot dog so badly. All I've been thinking about since I found out I was going to this game is hot dogs. And I'll take you guys along too. Obviously I won't be doing much reading there or much talking to you guys. You guys can see what goes on with the game. We're playing the Rangers, which is fun because it's like the other Texas team or whatever. I don't know. Let's go ahead and talk about A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. My first ever T. Kingfisher book. I don't know if all of her books are like this, but I felt like this book had a very specific tone to it. It was like very goofy. I can't think of a specific example, but you know those movies and shows that will show kind of like suburban America and everything is like really bright. There's like picket fences and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess like kind of like Truman Show-esque, I guess. I haven't seen that movie in forever, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong. That's kind of how I was picturing this book. Everything very bright. Stepford Wives, I think, is that like a correct thing too? I also don't really know that reference that well. I think it was made in the book. It's supposed to feel that way. Like it's supposed to feel very like small town and suburban and goofy too. It's definitely a goofy book. I mentioned, I think yesterday, that there was some humor in this that maybe is a little millennial, and I still stick with that. It's definitely not egregious. I was perfectly fine reading the book, but it is goofy. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that it was so goofy until it wasn't goofy, right? Till it gets scary at the very end and some serious stuff is happening. I'm obviously not going to tell you what happened, but one thing that I really liked that T. Kingfisher did is at the very end, there's like a possible solution for the problem, and T. Kingfisher did not take it. It was kind of like a false solution. So that happened, and then after that there was more, like another big bad, another enemy that they had to defeat. I'm really glad that it wasn't just a super easy ending, that they didn't just like defeat the evil. There's definitely some effort that was put in. But honestly, other than that, I don't have much to say about this book. This book to me did feel like a very average read. Most of the time while I was reading it, I was thinking like 3.5 leaning towards a 3, but now I'm really thinking 3.5 leaning towards a 4. There are some discussions about Sam's grandmother at the very end that I just appreciated, and it made me bump it up, you know, just a little bit. I forgot I was supposed to be doing my makeup. This is literally completely empty. This is not going to do anything. And I think this is a book that I would recommend to a lot of people because I think a lot of people would enjoy it. Just don't expect some sort of like amazing grand book. To me, this is just a very average book. It is a really fun book though. There's lots of fun different elements. I think it probably would be good for the fall. I'm already starting to get into a bit of a fall mindset. Like, oh, what can I read? What can I read and recommend this fall? Kind of what I'm thinking already. Something I wasn't expecting about this book made me appreciate vultures a lot more. It made me kind of like them. You know, I don't like vultures generally. They're kind of ugly. This book has definitely changed my outlook on vultures, at least a little bit. The next time I see a vulture, I probably won't just try to look away. I'll be like, oh cool, I read a book where there were a lot of vultures. And there are a lot of vultures in this book. There's also a lot of ladybugs. And obviously bug talk in general, because Sam is like a bug scientist. So if you like don't like bugs to the point where you don't even want to hear people talk about them, definitely don't read this book, because she definitely talks about bugs like all the time. But it's never anything like gross, honestly. It's all very scientific. So far in Summerween, I have read 3 books. No real change on the prompts because I just started reading, A House with Good Bones. God damn it. I should have just chosen a book with 6 words in the title. I didn't even think about it. Oh my God. A House with Good Bones. It's still 5. God damn it. That was so stupid of me. I just now had the thought that I should have chosen an audiobook yesterday that had 6 words in the title. Oh my God. Okay, well, we could have been done. We could have been done, and we're not done. I know the vlog is over, basically. It's not over. There's still like the rest of this day. I still want to finish this book in this vlog. Once I'm done with my makeup, my friend is going to pick me up like super soon. But once I'm done with my makeup, I'm gonna read some of this, and if I have to, I will finish this tomorrow, like early in the morning, so that I can have all the prompts done. Because you know, it's not like anyone's gonna come arrest me for extending it just a little bit. Why didn't I just pick a book with 6 words? It could have been so easy, but You know, then I probably would have ended up choosing a book that I don't even like or wouldn't have wanted to read, and then I would have hated it or something. Also, this audiobook is like not available anywhere for free. Like, it's not available at the library. It's not on Hoopla either, though I just logged back into Hoopla today. And why can't I find the audiobooks on there, guys? I haven't used it in a couple years. Where are the audiobooks on there? It's not available with Spotify Premium. You have to like pay for it. And I'm not going to pay the $13 on Libro FM because I already own the book. I'm not going to spend $13. I don't need to spend $13. The second half of Summerween has felt so much shorter. I mean, it is shorter because remember, I didn't really divide my days properly. Like, I feel so much more distracted. It's not that I don't feel as motivated. I do feel just as motivated to finish books and to finish all the prompts and everything. But the first half, it felt like I had so much time to like finish so many books. I mean, I only finished 2, but still. I am very proud of myself for finishing the amount of books that I have finished, especially if I end up finishing 19 Claws and a Blackbird. 19 Claws and a Blackbird. Okay, that's still 6. This month in general, I've already finished 6 books. That's the most books that I've read in a single month the whole year. It's only the 12th. So I'm really, really proud of myself for that. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to embrace it as much as I can. I'm feeling that spark for reading again, which is amazing. I can't explain it. Like, I don't know if you've never like really been in a reading slump, which I'm sure you guys all have been in a reading slump, but if you've never been in one, or if you maybe haven't had one that like lasted months and months, it's like such a weird feeling because like you want to read books, you hear about books, at least me. I would hear about books and I would want to read them so badly, and then I just like wouldn't. Like I would be so distracted and I'd focus on other things. I've just been patting my face over and over again. There was nothing left to blend in. I'm distracted since we're talking. Oh, some updates on the cookies. I gave the majority of them to Adam to take to his job because we're not gonna eat all those cookies. And he said that they were a huge hit, which made me so happy because I really just kind of feel like they're okay. I definitely undercooked them. And I think I used a little bit too much of the pumpkin spice, which turns out I got pumpkin pie spice. I don't know if there's a difference between pumpkin pie spice and pumpkin spice. I feel like there is a slight difference. I think I'm generally very insecure about my baking, less so my cooking, it's my baking. Okay, I'm done with my makeup. I still have to get dressed, obviously. I have a little Astro shirt that I got from a market a couple months ago, so this actually works out pretty well. But while I'm waiting for my friend, she's supposed to be heading my way like right now, I'm going to read a little bit of this, even if I just read like one story. That's more progress than nothing, right? I've read 2 of the stories. They're both super short. A Light, Swift, and Monstrous Sound, and Roberto, or Roberto. I actually have a really good friend named Roberto. Well, I mean, he's one of my good friends from high school, but I consider him still to be my friend, like my good friend, even if he doesn't live here. Somehow, Roberto, if you're watching this, what's up? And the next one is Unamuno's Boxes. Unamuno's Boxes, maybe. This book is translated from Spanish, so there are some words that are in Spanish, obviously. I think I mentioned the other day that I was just like, they were just fine so far. Like, I wasn't totally amazed by either of them, but maybe I need to consume like the whole collection to really get an idea. I've consumed very few short story collections in my life. I think I can remember one that I've read. Whenever I see other people read short story collections, like on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, they usually will rate like each individual story, right? And then they'll also consider it like as a whole. More curious about them as a whole, but I don't know if I should do that. Like, I don't know if they're even meant to go together or if they are just a compilation of different stories. So maybe I should start rating each individual one so that I can, at the very least, if I don't know how I feel about it at the end, and like, because they're all so different, at the very least, I can take the average of the ratings or something. Actually, let me get dressed first and then I'll start reading. I just filmed this whole outro and I realized my camera wasn't on. So anyway, I guess I'll do this again. We won the game. Amazing, amazing. We stayed until the end of the 9th inning, but we tied at the 9th inning, so we didn't end up winning until later in the night when we'd already left. I think we ended up going to 11 or 13 innings. But hey, the Astros won, which is amazing. Sorry if you're a Rangers fan, but I think you won the day before, so like whatever. It made me realize how much I miss going to baseball games, because going to baseball games is a lot of fun. I had so much fun the other day. I got to eat a hot dog, which was the best part, honestly. That was the best part of the night. But let's move on with the reading vlog. It is now the end of Summerween. Summerween is over, guys. I know, so sad. But I promised that I would update you on 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Agustina, bazterrica, and I have indeed finished this, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but I did not love this. This is like probably a very generous 2.5 stars. That does feel kind of generous. I didn't hate it. Like, there were parts of it that were definitely technically very well written. The language is interesting, but there was really no point to this. There was no point to it as a whole. Some of the stories I felt like had no point either. Just not my favorite, which is really disappointing, especially since I haven't read Tender as the Flesh, and I worry that I won't like Tender as the Flesh now because I didn't like this. If someone is watching that has read this and Tender as the Flesh, please tell me if I will still enjoy Tender as the Flesh, or if there's at least a possibility that I will enjoy it. There's never a hard and fast rule, but if you think I could possibly and I should still check it out, please let me know. Again, I'm not an avid consumer of short story collections, but I think I can say that this was like not a good one. There were a few stories that I did like, of course. None that I loved. There was not a single 5-star in here. And I wouldn't even say that there was any that were like a 1-star, but there was a lot of 2 stars, a lot of 3 stars, and just overall it felt so pointless, and it was so hard to finish. It was like pulling teeth finishing this, which is never something you want from a book that you're reading, especially like something that's supposed to be really engaging, like a horror book. There was definitely horror in this book. There's definitely a lot of disturbing topics. There's some body horror. There is just some disturbing stuff in this book that you should definitely watch out for and you should look into if you are planning on reading this. I took notes because I said I would. Well, I did the thing where I rated each story. At the end, I kind of gave up because I was like, I just need to get through this. Okay, I just need to get through it. I don't want to even take time to like think about it. There were some still at the end that I did like, but I just didn't even care to rate them. I liked Roberto, which is the second story in the collection. Very short. It has a very like shocking ending. It's about a little girl who says she has a bunny in between her legs, and her teacher is really fucking gross. And that's not the only time in this book that there is some inappropriate actions taken towards children. I can deal with some darker subjects, but just know if you cannot, don't pick up the book. If you think you could, just again, check content warnings, because there's a lot of stuff in here that I think could be very triggering to a lot of people. I did not like Candy Pink. I did not like that one at all. It was all over the place. One that I think that was maybe the best one was The Continuous Equality of the Circumference. It's about this woman who wants to become a circle. It's very disturbing as well. Lots of body horror in that one. It's like women's desire to be beautiful and the things that they'll do to achieve that beauty. One at the end of the book that I didn't rate, but I did have a good time, or like I was interested in the plot, Mary Carminum, and that's one of the longer ones in the collection. It follows our protagonist, who is a man, and he's just like a piece of shit. Him and his friend are always like ranking girls and rating them on a scale of 1 to 10. He's about to go on a date with this girl or this woman, and when he sees her for the first time, he's like really not into her. He's like thinking like, oh, her clothes look bad, her shoes look bad, her makeup looks bad, her hair looks bad, like all that kind of stuff. And she's the one that's taking him to this, what he thinks is a show, but it clearly turns out to be something much more sinister. In this book, there is a lot of satisfying endings, like a lot of like the bad guy getting what they deserve. There's tons of that in here. So if that's something that you think you would really like to read, you would find that in here. Something else that there's a lot in this book that I did not like is there's just a lot of really cynical, hateful characters. I'm really not looking for perfect characters, especially in something like a horror book. But there were a couple stories, I think at least 2 or 3, where the whole story was just about this person's hate of a certain person, or like of kind of everything. Because that person is so hateful, they become so one-dimensional Like they just, I don't know, like when I was first reading this book, all I could think was like, why is this book so freaking cynical? Like, does it have to be that cynical just because it's horror? I don't think so. Like, I don't think just because it's darker and it's horror, it has to be cynical. I hope that makes sense. And that was something I really didn't like at the beginning of the book. By the second half, I was like, I just want to finish this because I'm having so much trouble paying attention. But it's done now. I finished it and it has 6 words on the cover and I've owned it for more than a year. So now I have completed the prompts and the bingo board. So I would say it's been a very, very successful summerween. Let's do a little bit of a recap of the books that I've read. So obviously I read 19 Claws and Blackbird by Agustina, Bazterrica, but we just talked about that. In the first half of the vlog, I read The God of the Woods by Liz Moore, which is a mystery thriller set at a summer camp. I thought this book was kind of perfectly fine. It is a very interesting mystery. I was very intrigued. I was hooked. I wanted to know what was happening. I did go into it with just some really high expectations. I thought it was like going to be this literary thriller that was gonna like do something new and interesting and, you know, really kind of tell us something. It doesn't really do that. At least I don't think so. I don't think it tells us much of anything other than the mystery itself. At the end of the day, this is just a very average mystery thriller. I think I ended up giving it like a 3.75. That feels like a safe rating, maybe like a 3.5. One thing this book has done to me, it's not just this, it was this and that movie that we tried to watch, The Ritual, and like a couple other things before that. I have been kind of thinking about this, is that I don't think I like historical settings, but I think I specifically don't like historical settings when there's no point to it. Like, why does this book need to be set in 1975? There is no reason. There's really no reason. This book could have taken place today, because there's still summer camps today and people still can go missing today, especially at like a summer camp where you have to like give up your phone and stuff like that. I think it could be easily done. In the first half of the vlog, when I was first introducing this book, I was like, I hope that there are some like cool 1970s vibes. Turns out the 1970s vibes were just misogyny. And I'm not saying that the misogyny was misplaced because Liz Moore is not trying to rewrite history here. There were lots of misogynists in the 70s. But that was kind of the only thing other than like, you know, some music references that really, really like set this book in the 70s. And I feel like I'm trashing this, but I didn't absolutely hate it. I really, really didn't. It's a 3.75, a pretty high rating, honestly, and I was absolutely hooked by the story. I will be getting rid of both of these books because we're moving and I just kind of need to get rid of a lot of my books. I have to be very, very strict on the books that I'm keeping. I think if I wasn't moving or if I was keeping more of my books, I probably would end up keeping this, but it's not worth it right now. But the difference between these is that this one I will be trying to give to like my aunt or my cousin, like someone that I know that will appreciate this and will have a good time reading it. This I'm just not going to give it to someone I know probably. I'll probably maybe try to sell it online or maybe donate it or something. And the other book that I read in this half of Summerween was A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. And I had a really good time with this. I really, really liked this. I thought it was so fun. Just a really easy read because not only is it shorter, but it does have that very bright atmosphere that I talked about. I think because of that, it was just so much fun. I really liked how at the beginning it was a bit more lighthearted, very comical, or at least trying to be. Some of the humor maybe is not everyone's cup of tea, but it was, you know, lighthearted at the beginning, and then it becomes more sinister as we get further into the story and we learn more about everything that's going on. I definitely recommend this book. I think a lot of people would like it, and like I said, super, super easy. And I'm someone that loves a fun, easy read. It doesn't have, even if it's a masterpiece or not, I think everyone can use a fun and easy read every now and again. I'm officially giving this book 4 stars. And then finally, the first book that I read during Summerween was Thrum by Meg Smitherman. This is like a horror sci-fi with romance. It's a novella. It's about 120 pages or so. I really, really enjoyed this. I think I'm giving it like a 4.5, maybe a 5. If I'm being kind of a little bit willy-nilly, I'd definitely give it a 5. I hardly ever give 5 stars. I feel like I have to like be obsessed with a book to give it 5 stars. But I am kind of obsessed with this. I did really like it. I thought it was really well done for a novella. I felt like there was so much packed into those pages. It's a really, really good psychological horror because you just don't know what is real and you don't know like you don't know what's going on. Like, you know what's going on. Like, you can follow along with the plot very easily, but you don't know what you're seeing, what you're reading. And I did appreciate the romance that was there. This is not a straightforward romance because it doesn't have a happy ending in my opinion, and by definition a romance has to have a happy ending if you didn't know. So definitely is way more horror than romance. I know that there is a genre that's like horror-mance, like horror romance. I don't think that necessarily has to have a happy ending. I don't know much about it, surprisingly, even though I do consider myself to be a huge romance reader and I read pretty much all different types of romances. But I loved Thrum. I'm definitely going to read more from Meg Smitherman. I'm going to start with Entity at some point, hopefully soon. We'll see, we'll see. Those are the books that I read. So that's basically it for Summerween, and that's basically it for the vlogs. And that's really sad. I had so much fun with Summerween, and if you're new here or if you don't follow me anywhere else, you might not know that I've been in a pretty bad reading slump probably since like last September. It was only very recently that I really can say that I feel like I'm out of it. I keep saying that I'm out of this reading slump, but I think now I am. I'm having a really, really great reading month, and I owe a lot of that to Summerween. I think I officially got out of my reading slump, I think a little bit before, when I read Rouge by Mona Awad, but it was reading Rouge and then continuing to read horrors and thrillers because of Summerween that I think has just really, really helped my reading out. And I'm just so, so happy. I had a really, really good time. I'm happy that I've connected with maybe a few more of you guys because of Summerween, and I got to bake some fun cookies, which were officially a hit at Adam's job, by the way. I love it when people like my baking. I watched a lot of scary movies this week too, and I read some great books. Well, I read some okay books and some great books, but I had a great week overall. I don't think you need to only read good books to have a good reading week. But I'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know what is next. If you guys have anything that you would like to see, let me know. If you guys know any more readathons that are coming up that you think would be really fun to watch, also let me know. But I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Bye.